This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks are going to look to make it 2 in a row on their West Coast trip after that amazing win last night versus the Phoenix Suns, ladies and gentlemen. And the Knicks got to be feeling good about themselves. I'm feeling good about them. So you know they got to be feeling good about themselves. We're going to get into it and break it down. The game is just about an hour away. So I got a good 45 minutes to an hour to talk about the game. I want to know what you think about last night's game and what you think about tonight's game versus the Los Angeles Clippers, who've won 5 in a row. Before we get to it, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to remind you that the channel's been demonetized. You know that. So please make sure you support the channel by hitting up the Cash App. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. Or you can support the channel through PayPal. And that's paypal.me/nothing but Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it on your screen right now. It's also pinned to the top of your YouTube chat, and it's in the description of the video. And I'm going to put it back in the chat one more time, ladies and gentlemen. So, definitely support the channel. Always appreciate all of your support. There's no doubt about that, ladies and gentlemen. And, there's also a link for those Jalen Brunson Captain Clutch t-shirts and hoodies that you can only get at printjurisdiction.com. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, go check it out. Get your shirts from printjurisdiction.com. You know what I mean? The only one of their kind. So let's break this one down. The Knicks versus the Los Angeles Clippers. They played once already earlier in the season. As a matter of fact, they played shortly after James Harden was traded to the Clippers. Clippers. What are the Clippers? To the Clippers. And, to be honest with you, I'm still amazed that James Harden is able to basically do what he wants out there. Not play, cause a stink within an organization, and somehow, some way, get to where he wants to go. It's like the third time. I mean, he got out of Houston and got to Brooklyn. Then he got out of Brooklyn and got to Philadelphia. Then he got out of Philadelphia and he's with the Clippers. Only James Harden can do that, ladies and gentlemen. I guess when you're good, you can do it. I mean, he's not the same James Harden as 5-6 years ago. But he's still James Harden, and he's been doing work for the Clippers. They found a way to make some things work. The Clippers, when he went there, weren't playing that well. And then they went on a 4, 5, 6 game losing streak, whatever it was. I think maybe it was a 5-game losing streak. And the questions were like, wow, is James Harden that guy that tears your organization apart? But they found a little bit of a groove. And now come the Knicks. The team that, the Knicks beat them. The Knicks beat them pretty good the first time they played them at Madison Square Garden earlier in the season. They beat them pretty good. All right, so I would imagine that the Los Angeles Clippers have that game in the forefront of their mind, and they're going to be on their get-backs. The Knicks beat them 111-97 in the first game. right? And the Clippers just didn't play well. Russell Westbrook started, James Harden started, Kawhi Leonard started, and Paul George. All four of those guys started. All four of them potential. I'm not even going to say potential. Probably shoe-in Hall of Fame players. All of them started for the Los Angeles Clippers. But it was to no avail. The Knicks were ready. The Knicks were motivated. Similar to the way that they played last night versus the Phoenix Suns. And maybe this team is just ready to step up against star-studded teams. No matter if they have, supposed greats on the team or whatever you want to call them. Against the Knicks, the Clippers, 17 from Russell Westbrook, 17 from James Harden, 18 from Kawhi Leonard, right? 10 from Paul George. He didn't play well. You know what I mean? So we'll see if, is it going to continue? Will the Knicks be able to, continue to defeat these teams? We're going to find out. The Knicks, when they played the Clippers, and, back then, I don't remember the date of the game, they played well. Excuse me, I didn't mean to go back to that screen. They played well. They played very well. And I think it was the surprise of a lot of people, similar to last night's game versus the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Clippers weren't playing well at the time. You know what I mean? And then they got James Harden in, so there were a lot of adjustments to be made, But in that game, the Knicks were led in scoring by Julius Randle, 27 points, 10 rebounds. This is the first game now. R.J. Barrett had 26. Jalen Brunson, only 7 points in that game. He only shot 16.7% from the field. So he didn't even play well, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly not like he played last night. Now, the Knicks did have Mitchell Robinson in that game, right? So there's a little bit of a difference there. Mitchell Robinson had 13 points, 15 rebounds in that game, and 4 steals. So this game looks a little bit different than it did previously. Let's take a look at, ladies and gentlemen, the injury report for tonight's game. And remember, support the channel, please. You can support the channel by hitting Cash App, which is $nothing but Knicks, or through PayPal at paypal.me/nothing but Knicks. There's a link in your YouTube chat pinned to the top. There's a link in the description of the video. Please make sure you support the channel. Definitely appreciate it. Channel's been demonetized, as you well know. But tonight, for the New York Knicks, everybody is healthy. It's the second night of a back-to-back. Everyone except for Mitchell Robinson, but no need to mention Mitchell Robinson every single time because we know he's not coming back for a while. But everybody else is healthy. They're on the second night of a back-to-back. It would have been nice. I mean, listen, the Knicks played the Phoenix Suns last night. Most of us didn't expect the Knicks to win, much less win by 17. But they still didn't get a chance to rest guys. So right after winning in Phoenix, the New York Knicks had to head to Los Angeles. The good thing about the Knicks going and playing in Los Angeles, and playing against the Clippers and then playing against the Los Angeles Lakers is, although it's 2 away games, they get to stay there for a little while. So that helps. Right? That helps. They don't have to, get up and fly to another city, etc. They get to stay there, relax, kind of get comfortable, and then be able to, play on Monday. So that's good. It would have been even better if the back-to-back was the Clippers and then the Lakers. That would have been the better back-to-back for the Knicks. Instead of, Phoenix and then to L.A., although it's probably, it's not that far through plane, but still. Either way, the Knicks got to do it. They got to knock it out the box. On the injury report, Josh Hart, he's probable, but he did have some right knee inflammation. So something to look out for, right? We don't need any other guys injured. Emmanuel quickly had some right knee soreness and inflammation a couple games ago when he had to sit out, right? But, Josh Hart is probable. I expect him to be out there on the floor and do Josh Hart things. The Knicks will need him tonight. For the Los Angeles Clippers, they got a couple guys out. Paul George is questionable with left hip soreness. Bones Highland is out with right knee. He's questionable with right knee soreness. And then, of course, Mason Plumlee, he's got a left MCL sprain. And if you remember in the first game, Julius Randle fell into Mason Plumlee's leg, which caused the right ankle, the left MCL sprain. It wasn't purposeful, and he did apologize to him. You know what I mean? But this should be a good basketball game. I think this should be a good basketball game. I'm looking forward to it. A couple of things that I do have concerns. Last night was a really good game. Fun game to watch. Both teams were scoring the heck out of the basketball. Right? The Knicks gave you 139, almost 140 points last night. They shot almost 60% from the field last night. 58% from the three-point line last night. Incredible numbers. Incredible numbers. And the Phoenix Suns shot the ball well, too. They shot over 50% from the field last night. And excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. But they shot over 50% from the field last night. They shot 38% from the three-point line last night. Amazing numbers, scoring numbers from both teams last night. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Knicks can duplicate it. Right? We will find out, but I'm not sure if the Knicks can duplicate the type of numbers that they put up last night, scoring-wise, which is one of the reasons I'm so big on what they need to do defensively. We're going to talk about some of that. Let me get to a call real quick. Caller, you're live. Name me where you're from, please.
Hey, this is BLW. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me call in. This is the first time I've actually caught your channel notifying me that you were on tonight. So great.
I appreciate that.
So, yeah, with our Knicks, there's been a lot of talk about trades and potential moves and pivots.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in and of itself, and it's showing right now, both with Randall, for the most part, being efficient, and for the most part, and now Jalen Brunson showing how efficient he can be. If our team continues to be that way, we will be going to the postseason. I think there's no end in sight with the Knicks being efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Because I really think they have the team. And even though we may have missing pieces, and a lot of people talk specifically about the all-stars that they want. Right now, I think we have at least two more all-stars in the making on this team we have right now. So I think we should stay put, take a deep breath, and enjoy this season.
Hey, I'm with you. I mean, I'm definitely enjoying the season. Now, if a move comes available that makes sense, I think you got to make it.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
You're right. Because, not just like, Levine comes on, let's just empty out RJ and IQ and maybe somebody else. We can't do that. we have to really be methodical, and we also have to be ultra strategic
I agree.
because this team has the verge of doing some damage, and I really appreciate what they've done thus far. But I don't want them to mess up things
Right.
as years past.
Let me ask you this: how much damage do you think this team could do as currently constructed?
Okay, so that's a question in that we cannot answer it right this very second.
Okay.
So with that, this team can do easily compete for championship if they continue on the road they are. I mean, yeah, we have some gaps, but we're starting to fill the gaps. You know, we're seeing that. You know, RJ is putting up the 25 5-5s, and Randall is really playing some power forward. And Mitch is a drawback. However, I think, and I love Mitch, I think he's a mainstay to what we need to do going forward to maintain where we are.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I really think that the team right now, as he's out, is going to show their agility.
Okay.
Where they may not get the offensive rebounds, and to credit his past game, it was a different move, but Randall was different, and Hartenstein was different. Hart came in, and his efficiencies were off the chain, and so that's where I think this team really should do. They just should stay put. Let's just hold off and let us talk about how bad X, Y, and Z is until the playoffs.
Okay. Let me ask.
That makes sense.
Let me ask you this: if the Knicks are able to show some things that they can really do with Mitch being out, what does that mean for Mitch?
Nothing at all. His life is a lot easier. So what I think that instead of I was going to say you let him have his way because Mitch, I don't know him personally, but Mitch wants to be in the mix and ball movement. And I know that was at the beginning of this season. They were talking about that. And but he is exactly where he is for a championship team like our future Knicks. And so when he comes back, it's just going to be a net add. Okay. Now, I'm hoping that when he comes back, he's back 85, 90%, and Sims can still be on the team. I'm sorry, correction. Yeah, Taj can still be on the team. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I think the good thing about Taj is he can also play power forward, right? And the Knicks have been missing a power forward. As a matter of fact, some people were calling for the Knicks to pick up Taj to play backup power forward. So, I do think Taj, I think he'll be safe. I don't think, when Mitch comes back, I don't think they're going to waive him or anything like that. Especially, when Mitch comes back, there'll always be a chance of injury. You know what I mean? So I think Taj is safe for at least this season.
Yeah, and I think the last couple of days they were anomalies because, you heard KD saying, hey, they were given the sets, to Jalen, which was true.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this game is really something that we can look forward to because if you look at all of the commentaries and if you watch the game, the shots that were being taken by Jalen were just regular shots. I mean, he wasn't doing any Herculean stuff. Well, he always does that, but they were regular shots. But his rhythm was on, his efficiency was on, and if we can get everyone, it's similar to when the Showtime Lakers were running things physically and figuratively and physically, but everything was an oiled machine. Everyone knew exactly where they needed to be. Right now, there's a lot of Brunson heroics.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of RJ heroics and Randall heroics. But then you have people like iHeart who they're ready. And his game that he had this past day, if you look at and if you don't really believe in the plus and minuses, which in a sense I do, even though he didn't have much output, his plus and minus was like I believe 17.
Yeah.
Which means he was doing some things on the court that were impacting and affecting change.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks, the Knicks have guys. The Knicks have guys that can affect change, and they have a deep roster. That's one of the things that we kind of hung our hat on this season. And earlier in the season, it's still early, but earlier in the season we were a little wavery. The Knicks and fans, but I think it's shown itself now. But BW, you said that's
BLW.
BLW, man. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, BLW. I'm in Richmond, but I grew up. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn. But
okay.
I'm in Richmond now.
All right. Hey, I appreciate you calling in. I'm glad you was able to catch the show live, man. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, roger that. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Peace. All right, my man Crow is in the building. What's popping with you, brother? How you feeling? Hey, 1 second, Tony. 1 second, Tony. I had a little bit of an issue with the I had a little bit of an issue with technology earlier today. So let me make sure that they can hear you. I don't think they can hear you. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, while you're waiting for me to get Tony up and popping, remember, you can always support the channel, and this is the perfect time to do so. Right? Support the channel, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Cash App is $ nothing but Knicks. PayPal is paypal.me/nothing but Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. Please support the channel. We definitely appreciate you. I think I got my man Tony back in the building.
Mic check.
Yeah, I think we're good to go, my brother. Think we're good
No
to go.
doubt, no doubt.
All right, ladies and
What's
gentlemen.
good, Sim?
I'm good. I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? Excited for tonight's game. Really excited for tonight's game. And let me get this blown up there. There we go. Now we back in the building the way that needs to be. Frank asks, why was the channel demonetized? I don't know. I've asked YouTube a million times. Hopefully we get it back together in January. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we can only do what we got to do, baby. Doing what I got to do. So I appreciate everybody's support. I do want to, before we get into anything, and we're going to start breaking down these lineups and stuff, my man Josh, big shout out to Uncle Fulio. All right, emphasis on fool, but we ain't going to go there tonight. We're just going to be cool. He said, folks are more comfortable being the underdog than being a legit contender because of expectations. I disagree. Because I feel like that comment assumes that if you add whatever player is on Josh's mind, that we're automatically going to be contenders. And it doesn't. It doesn't. I think people want to see this team want to see them plateau and then add to it. I think people want to see that. I don't think people are afraid of being legit contenders. I mean, you can add a player and not that you think is going to make you a legit contender and not be legit contenders. That can happen. I think people want to be strategic and not just, jump out the window at the first shiny guy that rides by. You know what I mean? If it's Devin Booker that's available, I'm throwing all my chips in. You know what I mean? I think there's a difference there. I'm not going to categorize all people. Don't categorize all people, Joshua.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to the chat.
Look, he's going to jump on now because I called him Joshua. He's going to jump on now.
You're black as time. He always says that exact line to me specifically. I know I wasn't on when he typed it up, but he always says that to me, so I'm used to it.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nuance behind everything.
Always. Right. Always. We talked about the injuries. Paul George, ladies and gentlemen, is questionable for tonight. Bones Highland is questionable for tonight. For the Knicks, we know Mitchell Robinson is out. Josh Hart is probable with right knee inflammation. Inflammation. I don't know what I was just getting ready to say. All right, so looking at the potential lineups for tonight, I mean, the Knicks are going to have the same lineups, right? But for the I just heard something in my headphones. You guys didn't hear it. I'm like, what's going on over here? For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jericho Sims. For the Los Angeles Clippers, James Harden has been starting at point guard, right? James Harden's been stopping at point guard. Been starting at point guard. Russell Westbrook went to the bench. Terrence Mann has been starting at shooting guard. Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Zubac. Now, Paul George is questionable. I'm assuming that if Paul George does not play tonight, Russell Westbrook will start probably at the shooting guard spot and maybe move Terrence Mann to the 3 spot. You know what I mean? So I guess we'll see the way that works tonight. Right? Guess we'll see the way that works tonight. I don't know what's going on, and I got noises going on in my headphones. Hopefully you guys can't hear them. It's bugging me out. You know what I mean? I told you I'm having and it's noise from my machine like a magic sound. I'm like, what the heck is happening right now? Bugging out. Things going
Magic
crazy.
4?
Huh?
Magic 4?
I don't know what's happening, but yeah, Magic 4, right? But if Paul George does not play tonight, I'm assuming it's going to be Russell Westbrook starting. You?
Actually, don't they have? There's another wing that they have. Is it Powell?
They do have Norman Powell. Yeah, but they got Norman Powell.
I would think it would be Powell. Somebody said they said he's starting though. Frank Matos
said who's starting? Paul George?
Oh, George, yeah. I don't know if it's been updated or not.
Okay. I mean, I all I know is that it was, on the injury report, he was questionable. We'll see if he's starting. I mean, if, obviously if he's playing, he's going to be starting. Right? If he's playing, he's going to be starting. Then if you look at the bench, for the Knicks, you got Emmanuel Quickley, Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett, Josh Hart, Isaiah Hartenstein. For the Clippers, you got Russell Westbrook, Norman Powell, I forgot his first, Kobe Brown, PJ Tucker, then you got Daniel Tice. Right? Because remember, Plumlee is out, right, with an MCL sprain. So there we have it. Those are your starting and bench lineups, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know, your thoughts. Your thoughts about, the Knicks beat them a few weeks ago. Your thoughts about them right now.
I think it's gonna be a tougher game for sure. I think number one, we need our main 3 guys to perform and perform well. But that being said, my X factor after those 3 guys would have to be Hartenstein. He's gonna have to give us a double-double tonight. Mitchell Robinson had a great game against them when we played them.
He did.
And he's not available tonight. Somebody's gonna have to pick up that effort. I mean, he really he shut Zubac down. You know what I mean? Like he had a dominant game, Mitchell Robinson did. So somebody's gonna have to pick up that slack. But I mean, I got faith in our main 3 guys tonight. They definitely usually step up against big opponents.
Right. Now the last time the Knicks played the Clippers, Jalen Brunson, he had an off night, a real off night. As a matter of fact, one of the worst nights we've seen Jalen Brunson have. The last time that the Knicks played him, Jalen Brunson, again, he was 2 for 12 from the field. He had, let me see, I'll pull this over here so people can see it. 7 points from Jalen Brunson versus the Clippers. Lineups looked a little bit different because Russell Westbrook was starting point guard at the time. Now it's James Harden starting at the point guard. So it looks a little bit different now. But Jalen Brunson is also playing different now. Back, earlier, I think that was around the time people were, oh, is Jalen Brunson really the guy? Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Because he started the season kind of slow, but he's been playing Jalen Brunson ball, especially last night. He's coming off of a hot game. How much do you think that game, with it being a back-to-back, how much do you think that game, his 50-point game last night, is going to impact tonight? Like, how much will LA cue in on Brunson?
Well, here's the thing. I not on Brunson's side. Not only do I think last night's performance will help, but I think his bad performance against them previously, he ain't figured about. So he's gonna try to make up for that as well. So whether they key in on him or not, I mean, and even how do they do that? Not with Harden. Not necessarily with Man either. So how do they key in on him, other than maybe doubling him, trying to get the ball out of his hands? So I expect another, not a 50-point performance, but I expect at least a normal Jalen Brunson game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting a normal Jalen Brunson game tonight. I think, and we're getting reports that Paul George is playing tonight. So you'd be looking at James Harden, Terrence Mann, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Zubac. And then for the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Jericho Sims. They would probably try to put Paul George on Jalen Brunson.
Now, if they do that, somebody got to eat. Right? Somebody got to take advantage of their mismatch.
Kawhi Leonard's probably going to be on Julius Randle.
So RJ and DiVincenzo, one of you guys got
to do something, right?
Or both of you, to be honest, because
right, or both. Yeah.
Whoever's Harden's guarding, attack, and then whoever Man's guarding, I mean, they'll probably put Man. Yeah, they would probably put Harden on RJ, I would think, and then Man on, because Man is a little bit smaller to be guarding RJ.
Is he? I'm not exactly sure of his height. He's a little
on those two.
Probably would. James Harden on RJ Barrett, maybe Terrence Mann on Dante. I guess it could go either way. Depending on what they, do they want to just save RJ? Save James Harden, for offense. And he's been playing good basketball. Moving the basketball. I think he had 15 assists in his previous game, right? He's been playing some good basketball. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see the way that they match up with the Knicks. How do you envision the Knicks matching up with them?
Defensively? It's gonna be tough. I would honestly say my biggest concern would probably be Harden, because especially coming off that 15 assist game, he can kill you either way. You know what I mean? He can kill you with assists. He could kill you if he gets hot. So I think it's gonna be a battle. It's really gonna be a battle. Hopefully, it's just not one of those, 48, 47% shooting from three. If we could keep that 3-point percentage at maybe mid-30s, I think we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Mid to low 30s.
Harden is giving you so far this season 16 points per game, 7.3 assists.
If we could keep him to his average, I'll be happy. I think we got a great chance.
playing 34 minutes a game. He's shooting 46.5% from the field. He's shooting 41.8% from the 3-point line.
And that's the other thing. I'm sure he's going to be motivated knowing that we spoiled his introduction
Right.
to the Clippers.
True.
So I think he's our
True.
biggest worry tonight.
Okay. I mean,
Him trying to bounce back.
mhm.
You know what I mean? Him coming off a great game. The Clippers on a 5-6 game road winning streak.
Yeah.
So they have
Yeah.
everything in their favor.
Yeah, like a 6-game winning streak right now they're on. So they definitely have some things going in their favor. They're feeling good. The Knicks have been kind of, just up and down all season. The Knicks haven't really put together any long streaks, have they?
Not winning or losing.
Not winning or losing, right? They haven't put together
I
any
don't think
long.
we
I think
lost more than
maybe
2 in a row. And I don't think we won more than 3 in a row.
3 in a row or something like that, right? Maybe did we go 4 in a row? Maybe it's just 3 in a row. I don't know. We might have gone 4. We might have gone 4 in a row. But, Jericho Sims is going to be on Zubac. Randall, Kawhi Leonard, R.J. Barrett, Paul George is what I'm thinking. Dante probably James Harden, and I'm thinking Jalen Brunson on Terrence Mann. That's where I think the matchups would go as far as the starting unit is concerned. And then, as things start to you get Quentin Grimes in the game, he'll probably guard a James Harden. Emmanuel quickly, he could guard James Harden a little bit smaller. He'll probably guard a Terrence Mann. Josh Hart will see some time on Paul George. I'm pretty positive. Maybe even Kawhi Leonard. He might see some time on Kawhi Leonard too.
You think foul trouble affects the game on either side tonight, whether it's the Clippers or the Knicks?
I don't think so. I don't think so, because even if Zubac's not the kind of guy that's really going to get Jericho Sims in foul trouble, but really, Hartenstein is playing more minutes than Jericho Sims anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I don't know who would really get in foul trouble. Maybe whoever's guarding James Harden might get into a little foul trouble.
That's what I was referring to. I think Harden's a threat. Mm-hmm. RJ, Randall, and Brunson, I think, could all potentially be a threat to cause some foul trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi kind of picks his spots, so I don't think he really draws too many fouls. But Paul George, I think he's a threat to, get somebody in foul trouble.
Yeah. This is a game. RJ. I think this is going to be a game that RJ is really going to, he's going to need to be consistent and efficient. He was last night, right? He was efficient last night. Played a good basketball game. Need RJ to do it again tonight. They got firepower. Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, some firepower. They got guys off the bench that can, do a little something as well. Norman Powell, he can, he can get some buckets for you if you need him to get some buckets. Russell Westbrook can give you some buckets. PJ Tucker, some things he can do. His minutes have kind of wavered, but they got some other injuries on the bench. So I'm expecting PJ Tucker to be out there. Bones, if he does play, Bones Highland is questionable. If he does play, he can give you some buckets. So they got a deep bench too.
Second unit might be the thing to watch.
That might, you know what I'm saying?
That might be the most entertaining part of the game.
Right. It might be.
IQ and Westbrook. Oh my God.
Yeah,
that ain't a movie.
Yeah, that should be interesting, right? On the bench. So all right. So if you're looking at the bench, it might be Grimes. When obviously they're both going to trickle in, but when they do trickle in and you finally have IQ, Grimes, RJ, Hart, and Hartenstein. And then Westbrook, Powell, Brown, Tucker, and Tice. I'm thinking they probably put Quentin Grimes on Russell Westbrook. I guess either one of them could play Russell Westbrook. Westbrook might be a little bit bigger than IQ. So it might be a little better to have Grimes.
Yeah, but if you do Grimes, who you putting quickly on? Not Powell. Powell's bigger than
Yeah,
Westbrook.
but Powell's not like, I mean, he can score, but I don't know if he's the creator that Westbrook is or is going to attack like Westbrook does. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
So I think like
I'm
Westbrook
not
is
familiar with the Brown dude. You know how tall he is? Because you
he's
may
a
be able
young
to.
guy. I think he's like 6'7".
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, young guy. So, um but yeah, the bench is going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting matchup. Two deep benches going at it. So it's definitely going to be interesting and fun to watch. Looking at the numbers behind these two teams for the season, the Clippers are averaging 114.4 points per game. The Knicks are currently averaging 114.2 points per game. And of course, last night's 139 points helps a lot. You know what I mean? Helps a whole lot. Both teams are decent rebounding teams. The Knicks out rebounding by about 1.5 rebounds per game. The Knicks 24 assists, Clippers 25. Both teams around 8 steals. The Knicks 3 blocks, the Clippers 5. Both teams 12 turnovers per game. The Knicks shooting 46% from the field. The Clippers 47, almost 48%. The Knicks 38.4% from the three-point line. The Clippers 37.8%. These teams they're both pretty evenly matched, which means this could be a game that really does go down the stretch. You know what I'm saying? One of those barn burner type of games. It'd be so nice for the Knicks to come out with a win and have 2 wins after losing to Utah, then come back 2 wins in a row and have 2 wins on this road trip.
That's how you make it up.
You know what I'm saying? That's how you do it. And that's what we talked about after the Utah game. We said they need 2 statement wins now. You know what I'm saying? And they got one of them. They made up for that Utah game now. You know what I'm saying? They're back on track. We'll see if they can finish this thing out. You know what I'm saying? They can finish this thing out. My keys to the game are very similar to last night's key. Not very similar. They're the same as last night's keys to the game. We're playing another team that has a bunch of stars on the floor. So Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and R.J. Barrett, they've got to perform. They got to do it again tonight. They all did it last night. Led by Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, with, a 50-point game. Julius Randle had 23 and, 23, 8 rebounds, 5 or 6 assists. R.J. Barrett, I think, 21 points. You had role players step up, right? Everybody did what they were supposed to do last night in that high-scoring affair. It was a high-scoring game. And then the X Factors, they stepped up last night. The same thing tonight. You seen their bench. They got a decent bench. You know what I'm saying? A real decent bench. The Knicks bench, Emmanuel Quickly's got to step up. Quentin Grimes stepped up last night, hit some big shots. He's got to do the same thing tonight. Isaiah Hartenstein stepped up, played some good defense down the stretch of the game, blocks, steals. He's got to do the same thing again tonight. You know what I mean? Total team effort. Defend. I know Josh, I seen Josh say in the chat, 120 points per game is the norm in the NBA. It is. That still doesn't mean you can't play defense. You know what I'm saying? You got to play, especially like last night, there was a lot of scoring, but the Knicks played defense at the right time.
Down that stretch, yeah.
Right? Their defense stepped up at the right time. We need, I know it's tough, but you got to defend. You got to win. You got to win by playing defense still. I still believe in defense. I know there's a lot of scoring going around the league and all of that. That's all great, fine and well, but you still win championships by playing defense, in my opinion. It's got to come down to that. I want to see the Knicks play some defense, get some big stops. Last night, they got big stops when they needed to get the stops. Ended up winning by 17. We got to get those same stops tonight. Get off to a good start. Last night, the Knicks got off to a good start. They started the game good, and then they finished it even better. Same thing tonight. Get off to a good start. Finish the game good. You know, one thing I do want to see, after I finish these keys, I'll talk about one thing I do want to see tonight. And then late game execution. The game, you know, the Knicks had fourth quarter execution last night. Great fourth quarter execution, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And then they finished it, finished some transition buckets. They did what they had to do offensively as well, of course, because, you seen the way that they were shooting last night. Tonight's game might be tighter. And they're going to have to execute down the stretch. Right? Get it done down the stretch. You know what I mean?
They're not gonna fold this time. You know what I mean? They're not gonna question themselves. They were in the midst of a losing streak then with a new acquisition. This time they're in the midst of, a winning streak, finding their rhythm. So even if it gets tight, they're gonna believe in themselves.
Yeah.
I'm referring to the Clippers.
Right. No doubt about it. Yeah. So, I see Josh say the Knicks fan idea of defense winning championships got us 2 championships 50 years ago. But you know what? The Houston Rockets that beat us in the championship were a better defensive team than the Knicks. They were a better defensive team.
So were the Spurs.
So were the Spurs. They were a better defensive team. And they made stops. We got beat by better defensive teams. That's what I'm saying. The Knicks were a good defensive team. They were great. But those teams were better defensively. You know what I mean? So, it's not that the Knicks didn't win, because they were a good defensive team. You need defense to win championships. Those teams that won championships were good defensive teams. The Phoenix Suns were one of the best offensive teams to ever grace the NBA with Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire, and all them dudes. They didn't win because they didn't play defense. They didn't win a championship because they did not play defense. Your championship teams can do both. And they play defense. I don't care what nobody says. Play defense. They play defense. Hakeem Olajuwon, one of the best defensive centers to ever grace the NBA. That's what I'm going to say. I mean, anyway, one of the things that I want to get to that I want to see the Knicks do tonight is close out quarters better. In the first half last night, they didn't close out the first quarter good. They didn't close out the second quarter good. They did a much better job with the third quarter, and obviously you've seen what happened in the fourth quarter. But I need to see the Knicks execute better at the end of quarters. At the end of quarters, I need to see them execute. You know what I'm saying? Like, even at the end of the third quarter, I believe, there were maybe 2 seconds left, they the Suns didn't score, but the Knicks kind of relaxed that last 2 seconds. Or 3 seconds, whatever it was. And Phoenix actually got within range to be able to take a shot. You know what I'm saying? The Knicks got to finish those quarters strong. Good teams do that. Finish the quarter strong. You're not always going to go on a run, but you can't relax the end of the quarter. I want to see the Knicks finish those quarters. I want to see them finish the quarter strong. Tony, your prediction for the night.
Big win. Back-to-back statement wins. We've been figuring out this second game of the back-to-back as of late. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So let's continue that trend.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it. We have been figuring out the second half of those back-to-backs. You know what I mean? I think the last 2 back-to-backs, the Knicks have won the second half, right? Yeah, let's do it again tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I think the Knicks can get a win too. I think they can get a win tonight. I'm not expecting them to play the way that they played last night. Not expecting Jalen Brunson to drop 50. It'll be amazing if he does play the way he did last night. You know what I mean? You know, if he plays, I need a promise from everybody in the chat. If Jalen Brunson drops 50, you're going to buy a Captain Clutch hoodie. Make that promise for me. No, I'm going to take it down. If he drops 40, you're going to get it. I'm going to take it down. I got to take it down. If he drops 40, you'll get the Captain Clutch hoodie.
How about the 40, you get the T-shirt. 50,
you get the hoodie. There we go. Let's do it. He drops 40, you get the T-shirt. 50, you go buy a hoodie.
If he drops 60, you got to get both.
He drops 60, you got to get both of them. Drop 60, you got to get both. How about that? You know what I mean? If he drops 60, I'll give away a hoodie. If he drops 60, I'll give away a hoodie to somebody. I mean, and the top of the line hoodie too. I'll give away the top of the top one.
Oh, with the color?
With the color, the top one. Yeah. You know what I mean? The top one. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, and it's right here it's documented. So matter of fact, if he drops 60 anytime this season, not just tonight, if he drops 60 anytime this season, I'm gonna give away a hoodie.
And he said any, not every.
Any, yeah. Not every time. and not every. If he drops 60 anytime this city, anytime, one time, if he drops 60, I'm gonna give away one of the hoodies, ladies and gentlemen. All right? Yeah. So, you know. Kevin has said if he drops 50, I better not raise the price. Don't worry, it's gonna stay right there. It's gonna stay where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to get up out of here. I appreciate your time. Go ahead and check out printjurisdiction.com. I just put the link in the chat for those Captain Clutch T-shirts and hoodies. All right. And I did see, who was this? Andrew N. This was from last night. I missed it last night. He said, I got the Captain Clutch hoodie. He said it's fire. It fit the size. It's comfortable. The material is really good. Especially inside. Can't wait for others to be released. Yes, we are working on other comic book covers for the Knicks. So without a doubt, you know what I mean? We're definitely working on them. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Looking forward to catch you on the post-game show. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.